Booknerds. Welcome to the official podcast of Booknerds Author Agency, India's leading author agency. Booknerds is known for powerful book marketing and impactful author branding services. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or a publishing professional, you're in the right place for insider tips, inspiring author stories, and expert strategies to thrive in the world of books. With that, let's dive in. Today we are in conversation with Mr. Ashok Bhasin. Ashok ji is a former customs and central excise officer. He joined in 1976. That was the year I was born. He was awarded by the President of India for distinguished services in 1996. He holds an MA in philosophy and an LLB from Delhi University. After retiring in 1996, he began practicing law and later began writing thrillers. Gulnora is his fifth novel, and today we are going to speak about Gulnora. His previous titles include It Was Not Gold, Stupid Lawyer, Chapter 31, and Her Secret. Right? So, and before I start, I must thank Book Nerds for giving me this opportunity to interrogate a lawyer. That is not something that I get to do every day. Ashok ji, kaise hain aap?
I'm fine, and let me add something into this. I did my BSc in physics and
Okay.
MA in philosophy, and then law. So all the three subjects are different,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm still practicing. And it is just of say in 2017 I started writing,
Okay.
and it is just out of curiosity that one of my client came. He discussed about some gold smuggling and something, and then it came to my mind that I can write a book on this also.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was the first book. It was not gold that I had written,
Okay.
and that encouraged me to write more and more.
Okay. So we will not ask you to divulge who that client was, right? Because of the lawyer-client privilege. But so you had a distinguished career in customs and central excise, right? So why don't you tell us what was the moment or that incident? जैसे आपने gold वाले का बताया. So was it this incident that made you say that I must write a novel about this world?
Not exactly. The first book was not written from department's point of view,
Hmm.
but it was the client who came to take my opinion how to bring the gold and how to do all these things.
Okay.
And then, though it was all illegal what he was asking,
Okay.
but then when he went out, then I thought that I can write a book on this also. And that was how I wrote this book. And as far as this Gulnora is concerned, this
Hmm.
book you have already read.
Yes.
This is definitely based on the real incidents.
So, sir, आपको introduce करते समय मैंने बताया था that you've been awarded by the President of India, and clearly you've seen the system from inside, right? You've been with the Customs and Central Excise for long. So, when you write a book, you try to expose the system, or do you explore the gray morality that exists?
No, the fact is that since I have been on that side also,
Hmm.
and I took voluntary retirement after completing the 20 years, and I joined the department when I was 21, and I
Hmm.
came out of the department when I was 41,
Hmm.
and in those 20 years of my job, for 15 to 16 years, I was doing the investigation part. So I was aware how the investigation is done, how the statements are recorded, and how these mafias operate and all these things. So how the recording is done, how surveillance is kept, and all these things were in my knowledge. I had been doing this myself at first level also. And then when I started practicing, then I saw the other side of the table where I saw the liars, how they work, and what are their strategies, sometimes wrong also, sometimes right also. And not only that, I also saw the working of the judiciary also, and how the judges at the lower court and the high court level, I will not talk about the Supreme Court, though I know that also, but how they work and how the things are get done. So, keeping in view all the three things: the investigation part first, second the lawyers' working style, and then the judiciary's working. So
Hmm.
that helped me in writing the books.
Okay.
So
Great.
these are,
Great.
yeah, yeah.
So, let me again show Gulnora. And I was really happy reading the book. It's a fast paced book. There's suspense in it. There is mystery in it. There is thrill in reading it. Pretty fast paced and very easy to understand. Also, it's not that one has to. The reading is the your writing is fairly simple and very easy to understand. What I wanted to know about the book is, so is Gulnora inspired by a real person or a case which you encountered, or is she a composite of various experiences? I think थोड़ी देर पहले आपने बोला this was to do with a real person, right?
Yeah, I tell you that sometimes in 2000, in fact, what has happened was that in 1992 or sometimes around that time, the USSR was broken into many countries, and Russia became the main land. And then there were small countries, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine, and all these countries. So there was quite a shortage of essential goods there. So the girls from Uzbekistan, they started coming to India to take the essential goods from here and sell it at profit in their own country. That became a part of the system, and there were directions from the seniors also, from the ministry also, that you don't have to check these girls because they're very poor girls and they come only for taking the essential goods, and you cannot say that they are doing the smuggling or anything. So that was how it all started, and uh, this started, I think, sometimes in '95, and then onwards it went on increasing. And in 2000, when this case was made, there was a girl named Olga Kozyrova. That is the actual name of the person. Uh, I can change the name to Gulnora. And she started coming, and then there was an Afghan national who started taking benefit, that looking at this, that the girls who are going to India, while coming back, they are bringing the essential goods, and nobody stops them because customs and the government of India, you can say, was having a sympathy towards them. They they thought that they can take the benefit, that while going to India also, since they were coming empty-handed, they can take something. They can use those girls also. And then at that time, they started giving them initially the silk fabric, and you take them, and it's a harmless material. It's not a prohibited item, and they can always take it. And they said, okay, when you will go, we'll give you the free ticket for coming and going. So that was another incentive for them for bringing the goods from there also. So that was how it all started, and it's Gulnora is based on that real incidence of Olga.
Mm. So
So
these ladies would make money both ways. यहाँ पे आएंगे तो भी they get to make money. They're getting stuff from there and they're selling it here. And from here also they will buy stuff. They will go back to their country and they will sell that stuff.
no, I don't think that at initial stage they were much aware of it. At initial stage, they were happy with the free ticket only.
Free ticket only. Okay.
Free ticket only, and they were more concerned about taking the goods back, essential goods back to their own country and sell it
Mm.
there. But then you see, one of our very senior officer once said that everybody is greedy, and greed
Mm.
is there, but
Mm.
then there is a fine line between a greed and a crime.
Mm.
When the greed crosses that fine line, then
Mm.
it becomes a criminal.
Mm.
So that is exactly what happened in Gulnora's case, in Olga's case.
So Ashok ji, Chanakyapuri mein, when there was that Chanakya theatre, besides Chanakya theatre, there were a lot of leather shops which were supplied by the Russians. They were operated by Indians, but they were supplied by Russians. So
Yeah,
वहाँ पे भी कुछ
exactly.
ऐसा होता था?
Yeah, it was clear. I think I have not visited that place now, but I think
हाँ,
even then, even today, there would be a lot of tourist shops will be there, and their even
हाँ.
nameplates were written in Russian language.
Yes, yes. The
Yes,
names were written in Russian. The shopkeepers could even speak in Russian.
yes,
In
they
fact,
speak Russian.
पालिका बाजार में भी ऐसी दुकानें थी जिनका
Yeah,
साइन बोर्ड सब
yeah,
रशियन में होता
yeah.
था. And we used to wonder कि ये सब क्या है. Now we know.
But that is basically the inbound passengers who come to India.
हाँ.
So they were, because Russians, I think there are not much translators also.
Hmm.
So therefore, these shops were quite helpful to all those tourists who were coming. They were basically meant for tourists,
Hmm. Hmm.
the, not for the smugglers or the girls who were coming here, but
Hmm.
they were meant for tourists. And these were even, I think, when USSR was intact as such, as a complete country. Even
Hmm.
then, those shops were there. When we were studying in college, even then, those shops were there.
Hmm. Hmm. So when you were writing Gulnora, I mean, since you said you already knew this kind of an incident having taken place. So did you research a little bit more than what you already knew, or based on your knowledge, you were able to write the entire novel?
No, I tell you, what happens is that in all my novels, including
Hmm.
Gulnora, I just have to have an incidence in my mind, and then according to that, I picture the last scene first. How will I write the last chapter? How will I end it? Because in my own throughout the period during college period and during my after leaving the college also and my job also, I had read a lot of fiction thrillers, and I have found one weakness in that, that in all those thrillers the end is not good. I have not found the end good, even in very good books like John Grisham and all this. I book is going great, but when it comes to ending, it's I found something is missing. So yes, so it always occurred to me that either the author is in a hurry to finish it now, or he is not able to correlate the things and bring at a logical conclusion. And when I wrote all my five books, including Gulnora, I kept in mind always that how to end it. And then I start with a real incidence. I, in fact, start with a real incidence. Then it keeps on taking different branches. And when I tell you one thing, I write in hand. I don't write on laptop or anything. I take paper and pen and write. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's a beneficial thing in that, is that when I start writing, your story, first chapter, second chapter, whatever I'm in mind, will go according to that. But then later on, it will keep diverting to different directions, and then all my novels are in three parts. When I come to the part three, then I start converging all the incidences at one
Hmm.
place, and then
Hmm.
complete it up to the last chapter which I had in my mind. So
Acha, that
that
is the
was.
logic of three parts. कि third part में you start closing in on the
Yes,
story.
yes, yes. It is all in all my books, including in Gulnora also.
So explain to us what is there in part one and part two.
Yeah, part one is basically because, for example, in Gulnora, if you have read the book, the first chapter is exactly what had happened. It is exactly what had happened, and I can tell also because it's not going to reveal the suspense that a group of girls has come, and there is an officer who becomes interested in one particular girl. He asks one of his juniors to talk to Gulnora. She was a group leader, that he is interested in that girl, and that became an ego issue. Otherwise, it might have been continued for another 1 year or another 2 years. It became a ego issue, and he said, "Okay, then we'll make out a case." A case was made out, and he had not thought that it will go back to 2 years, when since the time she had started bringing the fabric, and a lot of investigations will be done, and a lot of people will get involved into this. He had just thought that yes, we'll made out a case. That is generally the practice also in all investigating agency. When a case is made out, it is made out, and it stops there. It's very rare unless there is some sort of pressure or something. Then they go back and do the further investigation, that what that particular person was doing in the past. So in this scope, when I start writing this, the first chapter is a real chapter, and then it's basically in first part it's all sort of investigation that is being done by the officers, and she has been arrested, she has been put in the judicial custody, and then how she planned to come out of the judicial custody. This is, yeah, this is the part one of the book. And part three is then part two is basically all the investigation which has been done by the DRI. for the past 2 years. Then, when they had finished the investigation, and their boss says, uh, there is a character, Reshma Naidu, a strong character. Reshma Naidu, yeah, very strong character. And I have met such sort of strong characters in my life also, practically. And when she said, now it is okay, and you can issue the notices, you can make out the case now. Investigation is finished. That is the end of part two. That is the end of part two. Then part three starts when I have come at a stage where I have to now start closing the things, all the loopholes, because there should be no loose ends. So all the dots are to be connected properly. Then I started collecting all the things of part one and part two, and then how the suspense is to be created. Because up to part two, maybe you have read the book, because you will not have realized what's exactly to be going, how it is to be end in part three.
वो
Yeah.
लास्ट चैप्टर में जाके ही समझ में आता है, सेकंड लास्ट लास्ट, आई मीन
It
अप
is
टू
there
सेकंड
in
लास्ट
all.
चैप्टर.
It is there in all my books.
करेक्ट,
Only in
करेक्ट.
last chapter. Even in the previous book, Her Secret, which I had
ओके.
written, it is only the last paragraph which says, which
हम्म.
changes the whole story. Only four
हम्म.
lines of the last book paragraph.
हम्म. हम्म.
So that is what I kept in mind before writing, how to end it. So that is how this book was also written. How part one, part two, part three was created.
No, that is how it should be. If you're writing a mystery or a suspense novel, right? That's how it should be. ये बिल्कुल एंड में जाके वो खुले कि क्या हो क्या रहा है. That's
Yes,
when
yes,
it hits the
yes,
reader.
yes.
So I was going to ask you a question about Gulnora, but वो आपने काफी कुछ तो already बता दिया है, that this was based on a real story. My question was that when you were writing Gulnora, what came first, the characters or the conspiracy? So आपने conspiracy के बारे में तो बता ही दिया. So why don't you tell us? You must have thought of some characters who might not have been there in the real story, right? Um, uh, to fictionalize it, to make it more wholesome. How did you think about those characters? What was your thought process कि ये ऐसा character भी एक होना चाहिए, वो भी एक होना चाहिए? How did you go about thinking and deciding that?
No, it is basically the characters which I am more relying upon. It's not the story or the what I knew about the case, because the first two chapters or three chapters might resemble the actual incidents, but then thereafter if you would go through the real incidents, then it's totally different. It keeps on changing, 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 and when it comes to an end, even that end was not there in real story. So real incidents. So it was the character of the Gulnora that was important, and I wanted to show this character initially as an innocent, as a sort of a victim girl, which has been victimized, and she's a poor girl. Uh, she needs help of everyone, and the investigating officer also helped her by providing a lawyer, and all these things are there. But by the end of the book, the whole scene changes.
Changes, correct, correct. वो end में पता चलता है क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है. Especially the character whose
Yes.
initials are PP, right? So I'm not going to talk much about him, right?
Yes,
But
and the second character was of Reshma Naidu. That was a strong character, I know, and one was of Sandeep, uh, who is the prime investigating person, who no doubt who was involved with all those things, but finally he had his own mind and he started investigation. And I tell you that in investigating agencies, in all investigating agencies, uh, it is always the lowest officer sitting at the lowest rung who is important, who plays the important role. He is the person who knows the people at the ground level. He knows the informers at the ground level, who knows the mafia at the ground level, and only he is the person who can find out exactly what is happening. Yeah, the seniors have to depend on what he is doing, and not all juniors are like that, but it is always there are some picked up persons are there, some gifted persons are there who can do the investigation, and
mm,
if they get the conducive atmosphere,
correct,
that is
correct,
important.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. So, Ashok ji, ये गुलनोरा में, right? You've shown there's a lot of corruption in our system, and there is, right. There is corruption in our system, lots of other systems also. So, corruption in your story, is it a character flaw, a tool for survival, or a symptom of a broken system, or is it all the three? What are your views on it?
No, in general, if you ask me,
Hmm.
then corruption is widespread. Everybody knows,
Hmm.
and people do get the things done by bribing the officers, by bribing the, I will say, the judges also, because I'll just give you an example here. I mean, though it's not relevant as far as this book is concerned, that in my Her Secret book, there was a 30 lakh cash dollar found in a judge's house. Though that book was written before now the real news which has come, that there was a money found in Delhi High Court judge's house. My book is written 2 years back. So, so that means these things do happen. These things do happen. So there is a, so that corruption is undoubtedly it is prevalent. And as far as the Gulnora's case is concerned, in this case, in fact, what this girl who is not an Indian national, who knows very few people in India or almost negligible persons in India, but still she was able to hijack the complete system. I mean, right from the bottom, right from inspector level officers up to the ministry's senior most officer, even the ministers may be involved. She had hijacked the system, and she was so much confident that she could bring the 27 bales of uh, fabric. And I was told at that time that the one length of one bale is was 7 feet. I mean, you have a bed of 6 feet. It was even 1 feet longer than that. And she was bringing how confident she would have been, and that nobody will stop me. So she had, in fact, completely hijacked the system. And I was, as a lawyer at that particular time, this happened in 2000. I left the department in 96. And we kept hearing about all these things at that time. And I was telling the people in the department who were my former colleagues that I always say this thing to even some of my clients who indulge in all these activities, that you have now earned the money, do it for two time, then stop it, because the wrong things cannot be continue forever. One day it has to come to an end. The, maybe it could be for any reason, but one day it has to come to an end. So it's the same thing happened in Gulnora's case also. Maybe the reason which I have mentioned in first chapter, that the officer became an ego issue became there, and he said you make out a case, but it was just a reason that it has to be discontinued at that stage. So
Hmm.
yeah.
You mentioned three departments here. One is customs, one is DRI, and the third is NCB, the Narcotics Control Bureau. Tell us about how these three departments are interconnected.
That is important because sometimes even the lady who has done the editing of this my book, one Monali Banerjee is there. I'm taking her name because with proud, because she had 40 years of editing experience. She was a chief editor of Bennett Coleman and Times of India Group, and
Very
now she's a
nice.
freelancer. She's a freelancer.
Monali
So
Banerjee.
Monali Banerjee.
Okay.
So, and when she was doing the editing of this, she was confused because sometimes she says that you are written that you are from the same department, though there are three different departments. So, it becomes sometimes difficult for a general public to understand what exactly is the way how these departments work. I tell you, DRI is one such department where they have the clerical staff on their own role, and starting for inspector up to the director general level, they take the officers on deputation from revenue department, from finance ministry. Then their deputation is for 5 years, and after 5 years they are revert back to parent cadre, and it this keeps on happening. That cycle keeps on going. So And as far as NCB is concerned, they take the officers on deputation from both, from police as well as from revenue, from both the sides. And yeah, and they have mixed uh, type of officers, both the officers. So
Mm.
this is how they are connected, and they keep on transferring from one place to another place. And
Mm.
so this is a distinction which generally is not known to public.
Correct, 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 correct. So good. Thank you for clarifying that. And there must be a lot of interdepartmental turf wars, right? Which keep on happening. कि आप मेरे एरिया में आ गए, आप मेरे अधिकार क्षेत्र में आ गए. So what happens when these things happen? Because I think there was, you also touched upon that in Gulnora, right? I mean the DRI guy saying ये काम एनसीबी वाले का है, ये एनसीबी नहीं करता, all that stuff.
Now, I tell you what happens is that DRI and NCB, they are the centralized agencies, and they have
Hmm.
the jurisdiction of all over India. I mean, the customs doesn't have a jurisdiction of all over India. If a commissioner is posted in Delhi, say, then he has a particular jurisdiction. He cannot go outside a, jurisdiction of, say, Commissioner Bombay. So Commissioner Bombay will work under his own jurisdiction, but DRI can work all over the India. NCB can work all over the India, because you might have seen that when there was some drug case were going on in Bombay, then NCB officers were sent from here, uh, and from Delhi also, and some issues were also there between the state and the central agencies regarding the investigation. So. Uh, But as far as DRI and NCB is concerned, though drug is one such subject which has an overlapping in DRI and NCB, because what is not only that, even FAMA, one of the another act which is looked after by ED, the third agency, enforcement direct, that also has an overlapping, because there is a reason for that, because there is a clause in customs that any prohibition imposed in any other law is deemed to be a prohibition under customs also. So that particular provision creates problems sometimes, jurisdictional problem. Customs says I am also empowered to do this thing, though normally the clash is not there. Uh, like there is a clash in case of police thanas or like this, such type of clashes are not there. Once a particular agency, because they are specialized agency, NCB is specialized for drugs, ED is specialized for money laundering or foreign exchange and all these things. So they will do their job, and customs comes into picture when there is an import and export is issue involved. I mean, I tell you very interesting thing, that there was a case made out that a person was exporting foreign exchange. He was taking dollars out of India. Customs made out a case. They uh, caught that particular person and follow up. Then they went to their house. They found some more foreign exchange lying in his house. So then an issue propped up between the officers that the currency which has been seized at the airport, it is an issue which they say were attempt to export a foreign currency, which is the jurisdiction of customs, because it was an attempt to export, likewise an attempt to import. And the currency which was seized from the person's house, that was the currency which was found in possession of the person.
Okay,
It was not being attempted to be exported. So
correct.
that particular part of currency was required to be handed over to the FAMA people, that now it is your subject, it is your
Okay,
baby, you take care of it.
okay,
So that is
okay,
how the jurisdiction gets divided.
okay. Great. So, viewers, while you are listening to this conversation, let me remind you that Gulnora is available on Amazon, and you guys can, simply go to Amazon and purchase the book for yourself. It's an amazing read and interesting read. In fact, when I started reading it, I was looking forward to getting my free time every time during the day, so I could finish reading it. It's really that fast and it's really that captivating. And it's a beautiful cover, Gulnora and that
In
girl,
fact,
right? I mean,
I tell you the reason that
uh,
when I thought for the name of the main character Gulnora,
hmm,
then I went through the Google and found the list of Uzbeki names of Uzbeki girls. I
hmm,
wrote down on a piece of paper 10 names. I
hmm,
shortlisted, and
hmm.
then Gulnora was one of them. Then after shortlisting, I checked the name of meaning of each name.
Okay.
The meaning of Gulnora was pomegranate flower.
Ah, okay, okay,
So
okay.
if you will see, there is a picture of flower also on this.
Yes, yes, yes. There
This,
is.
this
There.
also I took from Google and I gave it to the publisher that
Okay,
you can print this also. And
okay.
Gulnora looked quite impressive name to me, so
Correct,
I gave the title also.
correct, correct, correct. So Ashok ji, अब एक बात बताइए. A lot of readers must have read the book by now. So, is there anything that has come to you from the readers about Gulnora that has surprised you? Any feedback?
I think the most surprising part was that I got a call from a retired judge
Okay,
who had handled this case, and
okay,
he said, "You meet me, I know A to Z of the case."
okay,
I said, "Sir, thank you very much. I don't want A to Z of the case. I don't only want A to D of the case. E
okay.
to Z is all my imagination. I
Correct,
have done that, and I will
correct.
hand over the copy to you, and you will find that it's basically a fiction. And
Hmm.
moreover, it is not a book which is written for the customs people or for those people who were affected in this case.
Correct.
It's a book written for a general public."
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
It's not that you are reporting on the matter. You are writing a book to for people to enjoy and be entertained.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Correct. Correct. Um, so what next? Are you working on a completely new plot line, or is there a sequel? Would there be a story to what happened to Gulnora?
No, not right now because in none of my books this question pops up in all my books because it
Okay.
ends like that only. And
Okay.
the same question is coming now also. But
Okay.
something which is going on in my mind is for
Hmm.
new book is a different subject,
Okay.
and uh, I don't know when it will take a shape
Hmm.
exactly. But no,
Hmm.
no, asking, giving reply to your question.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Yeah, uh,
Okay. No. No problem.
contemplating anything new. Yeah.
So that brings me to the last question, Ashok ji. If Gulnora was to be adapted into a film or a series, who would play Gulnora? Who would play Ankit Tyagi? Who would play Reshma Naidu? And who would play Sandeep Yadav?
You see, my choice of character, heroes or casting people, it has no matter because it doesn't matter to anyone because I had in my earlier book, one of my book has rights have been two of my books. The rights have already been bought by the producers. It was not gold was right have been purchased, and Her Secret rights have been purchased. Her Secret, I think, is now almost at the stage of shooting, and and the problem is, I tell you, the problem is that I've not talked to you about one book. I always keep that at the back because that is the book which I give 10 out of 10. That is chapter 31. And one of the Bengali director had told me, producer had told me, that this is the perfect book and you will have to take a very big casting in that. And he told me that whenever there is a budget of a book, big movie, then 50% of the budget goes to the casting and 50% goes in the production. So now naming the people here as to who could be the uh, casting and who could be the characters, though no doubt, as far as Gulnora is concerned, I think because they are all, I mean, you must have seen that the people living in that area, this particular area, this region, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, and Kyrgyzstan, and all these. These people have girls, even the boys, both. They are. I think they are the most beautiful features in the world. There is a reason for that because they have the features of a European also. They have a feature of a Arabian also. and they have features of Asians also. So, they are quite beautiful. I had met the Olga during my. She had come to my office when I was handling the case. Uh, I had met her and I had seen her. She was quite 6 feet tall and fair complexion girl. So if I go exactly by that, then I think you can take a Karina Kapoor like that, or but Karina Kapoor, if you'll see, she because in my case I have said that she is a girl of 22 years. Karina doesn't give impression of 22 years girl, or the other could be. I mean, Huma Qureshi could be good. Yeah, and for
How about
Reshma,
Reshma Naidu? Hmm.
Yeah, Reshma Naidu. Somebody was telling me, one of my producer, that Jaya Bachchan has started back. She has come back in acting.
Okay, okay,
If she has come, she can also be one of that person. And then
okay.
I think
Sandeep Yadav.
Sandeep Yadav, we can take Nawazuddin for that. I
हाँ,
mean,
correct,
we can take
correct.
Nawazuddin
In
for
fact,
that.
Sandeep का character थोड़ा सा बाद में pick up करता, but it picks up very well. I mean, the work that Sandeep does in Gulnora, right? It picks
And
up a little later, but it picks
Reshma,
up very
Tabu can also be a good option
well. Hmm.
for Reshma. Tabu can also
Hmm.
be good.
Correct. And how about Ankit Tyagi, the man with whom everything began?
Yeah, Ankit Tyagi was, in fact, if you ask me, he was the main character in Real Story. But in my book, I think I made him die too early. So it's a short time. Its character would be for a short period. So I can't contemplate who could be the person, but because uh, what happens is, normally when I interact with these people, because my two books have already been taken, so I interact with these people also. If they have in mind that they would like to have one uh, big name, and other names could be anyone.
Hmm. Correct.
They need
That's how
one
they
big name.
control that. That's how they
Yeah,
control their budgets, maybe.
yeah, because it cuts up. They cannot take all the big names and all the
Hmm.
characters, because it would become a huge budget then.
Correct, correct. Sir, it is like something which somebody had asked शाहरुख खान. किसी ने शाहरुख खान को एक बार पूछा कि आप आमिर खान और सलमान खान एक ही मूवी में क्यों नहीं आते? सो ही सेड हमको अफोर्ड कौन करेगा? हम तीनों को एक ही मूवी में अफोर्ड कौन करेगा? ये बताओ.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah, yes.
I thought the last question would be the last question, but let me ask you one more, right? Because you said you were handling this case, Olga case, right? Which character is based on you? There are a couple of lawyers in the novel. Is there a character which is based on you?
There is a very, 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 very short uh, character at the end. Some Udit something.
Yes,
Very, very
yes, there
short.
is. Yes, yes.
That you can say that resembles me.
Okay, so I was wondering whether it is Sumit or Udit. I mean,
No,
who would it be?
it was the last one, and I have written that he had, after completing 20 years, he took the retirement.
Yes,
Then,
yes.
because in that case, I had represented 12 departmental people.
Wow. Okay.
So therefore, whole of the story is on my tips. I can
Hmm.
narrate even after, when I wrote this book in 24, last year.
Hmm. Hmm.
So one of the, though I kept it a secret, but one of the department officers came to know that I'm writing. So he
Okay.
said, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "It was a case in 2000. Now 24 years have passed.
Correct.
So I kept in my mind now, I will finish it and write it and get."
Great. So, sir, someday, because of this privilege of having met with you like this, I'll give you a call and try and understand what was the real story.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. No issue, because this story is completely changed.
Correct, 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 correct,
Completely. Because
correct.
it's a fiction. I mean, you can say it was inspired by, or it was based on that, because,
Hmm.
but it's not a real story. First two, except first two, three chapters.
Hmm. Correct. So, That brings us to the end of this session, viewers, and that's all for today. Thank you for tuning into the Book Nerds Author Agency podcast. This is where books meet branding and authors becomes icons. So don't forget to follow, rate, and share this podcast with all your fellow writers and readers. Until next time, keep writing, keep reading, and keep building your author brand.
Thank you, Nitish ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.